welcome to another day of another tutorial Tuesday. Wow, I'm going through a really big brain fog right now because I'm still on antibiotics, but at the same time, I'm actually feeling really well. So let's try this out. This is my first Stump the Creator since getting sick. That's a month and a half. So this comes in from Jonah H. First question: do Guy Fawkes and Joseph Goebbels, we'll just say Goebbels, just because I don't like the guy and it just sounds funny, guarantee that the land they occupy cannot be taken? It seems so unfair for the person who played it on them. Okay, so here's the thing. So here it says, guaranteed that the land they occupy cannot be taken. Okay, so let's click on Guy Fawkes. When you play Guy Fawkes in an opponent's land, they lose 300 morale. He cannot be discarded until the land changes hands. Now, if he's the last person and the person wins the battle, it changes hands. So Guy Fawkes goes away and it changes hands. So it does not keep him from being held back from changing hands. So as in, if I wanted to take the land from the owner, and Guy Fawkes was in the land that I wanted to take from the owner, I can attack, and on the last attack, Guy Fawkes is the last person to leave because that's when it would change hands. So it does not guarantee that he cannot change hands. And we've had this discussion a few times back on our YouTube channel, but at the same time, that was before we created this Facebook group that would keep every record as we go. Now, going on to Joseph Goebbels. Goebbels, it just sounds funny. Place Goebbels in one of your opponent's lands. They may not discard him. Decrease that opponent's morale by 300 points. Okay, again, they may not discard him, meaning that the people that own the land. Now, if you attack him, he's going to be the first one that they're going to put to be killed off. It's like Rasputin. Rasputin is another person that if I was owning the land, I could not kill off Rasputin, but a person attacking me could kill him off. That's the only way of killing him off, is if somebody attacks that land, then he'd be the first person I would choose to be discarded from that attack. So place Goebbels in one of your opponent's lands. They may not discard him, they being the owner of that land. You, though, if you attack, then you're the one killing him off. Okay, so I hope that helps with that first question. Question number 2. Can Sir Walter Scott pull out a land since they aren't characters and are a part of your deck? It sort of makes I think he meant sense-ish. Okay, so open up Sir Walter Scott. Here we go. He may enter your deck and pull out any non-character card and play it immediately. Now remember that your deck is the stack of all your cards minus your lands. Your lands are in a different stack. It's not your deck. Completely different. So because they're not the same, you can only grab from the cards that are in your deck. That's characters, events, documents, knowledge, organizations, all those minus land. So I hope that helps you with question number 2. Jonah H., thanks for those questions. Those are great questions. And I know they've been mentioned a long time before, but it means that somebody has that question. And if somebody has that question, we need to answer it. So we want to make sure that everyone has a chance to go through. These are a lot of the questions that are being asked right now. And there are a lot of them that I have not even put in here. Let's go through a few more since we've got a few seconds. Okay, let's go through the next one right here. The CIA card says you can discard any of your opponent's cards. Does this include land cards? Now, again, this is another one that's been in the YouTube channel, and it does not allow for lands to be discarded. Now, let me tell you a little bit of the history of the CIA. One of their tasks, though not really spoken of, but it's been known, is to overthrow regimes, help overthrow regimes, to change governments if they become uh, not. It's funny because you question what the criteria is when the CIA is supposed to help overthrow a government. Much like, I mean, Iraq, much like, um, was it Libya and some of these other places? They were some of the people that were there during the time. Now, they weren't exactly, I don't think they were in all or even in both of those, but there's times when there's regime changes and they help change the regime. Now, in changing a regime, it'd be changing ownership of that land. It would not be discarding that land. So if the CIA came in and was there to overthrow the land or help overthrow the land, it'd be taken over by somebody else to run it. They would never discard that. So that's the history of the CIA. So in this card, like I've said it before, this does not include land cards. So I just want to make sure that's understood. And if you look in the comments below this, you'll actually see that I've clarified it right in this area, right here. So you can read more about it. So no, the CIA can help change ownership of lands, but it will never, I guess, bomb it so much that no one could ever occupy it, which would be discarding it, which is why um, we have two cards that allow you to discard the cards, but Chernobyl. Chernobyl was basically a land that you can't occupy. Uh, I think you still can't really occupy it without some question of radiation poisoning. So that's the reason why it is the way it is. Okay, let's going on to the next one. Here it is. There is another debate in our house. In the rules, round 1 and 2 say that you may play up to 3 cards. Round 3 and up, when attacking, it says that you may attack after playing 3 cards. Does this mean you must play 3 cards prior to an attack? Now, as you guys know, that has been playing for a while, you can play up to 3 cards and then attack. So maybe that needs to be restated in the rules. But again, if someone has a question on it, it's a legitimate question and needs to be answered. And then the last one, I'm not going to go through the whole question because it's quite long. But this is the question of the UK versus Scotland versus Ireland. Now, the UK has basically all four. We have England, we have Ireland, we have Scotland, and we have Wales. And so all four of those make up the UK. So the UK card at this point, because we added Scotland and Ireland, does not make sense anymore. So that card is actually going to be removed from that game. This will be a rare card because we will not be printing it anymore. The UK will now become England, and then there will be at some point a Wales card. Because, and here's the thing, the reason why we need to break them up instead of having a UK that encompasses them all is because what if somebody else joins? Now, I don't know who would join, maybe Iceland or someone, or what if someone else takes themselves out of the UK and does not even want them associated with the UK, the United Kingdoms? Then things are going to change in the future. That would mean we have to change the cards again. So we want to be able to keep them as consistent as possible. So for this reason, we're coming up with 4 cards: Scotland, Ireland, Wales, and England. So, or we'll call it Great Britain. So here we go. That's another question that was put in here. And so there's constantly more questions as you go. One last thing before I leave you guys is the CYOC contest for $500. Create your own card contest is going on right now. Don't miss it. December 1st is the last day to enter your card idea. And again, if you're in the top 12, you'll get a stack of your cards. If you're number 1, you get $500. Now, how do you beat that? So thanks again for joining us for this Tutorial Tuesday, and we'll catch you. Now, remember, tomorrow we have not replaced Game Design Wednesday. So as of right now, there's nothing going to be playing on Wednesday, but stay tuned for Thursday because we have our Sneak Peek Thursday where we're going to introduce our new website. You're going to want to see this one. So until then, we'll talk to you soon. Take care and have a great. If you have any comments or questions,
add them to the comments below. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow, actually. Take care. Bye.